wrestling fans, and more importantly, Deep South wrestling fans. Welcome into a special edition Strong Style with my very special guest, Skrilla the Great. All right, bud.
What's up, buddy? Another day at the office.
It is another day at the office. I was just getting a workout in right before you got here.
Man, that's a nice setting in back there, you know.
That's it. You should come see it sometime.
It'd be great. I'd love to see. What is that? Wait a minute. That place looks. Never mind. Never mind.
It,
Sure, I'd
it,
love to come
you know,
down. Just
yeah,
send me an
yeah,
invite. I'll be there.
yeah, yeah. I will. I'll get with Booker, or I will get with Sean and see if they'll invite you down sometime. I think it'd be great.
Maybe Paul, give him a
Yeah,
call.
that's yeah, him too.
You
You know,
know?
maybe even that guy on the cut there. Maybe good old
Oh,
Joe.
oh.
But as you guys can tell, we love to mess with people, which is scary that we're friends that we can do that, or on a level where we can do that as media
Absolutely.
and wrestling superstar. But we are here to talk about not only all the great things that you have done so far, but there is a show at New Realm that Deep South is putting on this Sunday where you, sir, will let's start right there. You are matching up with the son of Umaga, otherwise known as Zilla Fatu in the wrestling circle. First question I have as far as that: have you guys ever crossed paths before? Like, have you ever met each other? Or
Yeah. I've heard his name, obviously through the indies and obviously he kind of heard of my name too because when I went in March to Reality of Wrestling,
right? Mhm.
we shook it up, politicked a little bit, took a picture together. There was mutual respect there. So I think it kind of changed, like as I said on my promo, like it was time to, do the show. And, me, Naja, and Jacob, we represented Deep South and we really brought it. And at the end of the night, Booker T kind of, gave a speech and he was like, man, I ain't trying to, kind of like he wasn't trying to down them, but he was like, man, these Georgia guys really came over here and showed it. So we got a lot to work on, and it kind of rubbed the locker room just a little, they kind of rubbed them the wrong way a little bit. And
Shake them up a little bit.
yeah, and we came home with our heads high, So I don't know if that's where things started to change, but I mean, definitely the atmosphere was a little different between me and him. And then the next thing I know, I get a call and they're saying that Zilla is on his way to Deep South. And I'm like, okay, cool, and they're kind of telling me like behind the scenes, he's kind of saying little things here and there. And I'm like, oh, okay, well, I'm legit at work. And I'm just like, you know what, I'm gonna pull up. And as I pull up, he wants to act like he didn't even know I was there. So I'm like, okay,
Hmm.
what are we doing? And then so Jacob, and I'm not faulting Jacob, he's the champ at Deep South. So he's trying to represent us and make sure that, when you're on our territory, you make sure it's a real deal. And, he covered the territory considering he's the champ. However, I feel like I built the kingdom from the ground up. I reinvented the building from the ground up. And so I felt like it was my position to step up to the plate, if you will, considering that Jacob already has his hands full with so many guys in the locker room.
Yeah.
And I hope he didn't think that I was trying to rain on his parade or trying to steal the spotlight. I just, I felt like I was being considerate enough to let him deal with what he has going on and let me handle this because it's at the end of the day, it's between me and Zilla anyway,
Hmm.
whether he wants to, put it out in the open, it's definitely between me and him. And so, we had the standoff. It was a three-way standoff. And, um, the thought process was a little different because he tried to make it like he was going for the title, and Jacob's like, "Hey, well, I'm the champ. If you want some, come get some." And I'm kind of like, calm down with that. And Jacob's like, "Oh, you're just out here because you really want your title shot again." And I'm like, "No, I'm just out here." And then next thing you know, he's choking me. I'm like, "Okay, Zilla, this is what we doing. All right, bet, let's go." And the whole locker room spilled out, and they had to break it up. And ever since then, I um I learned something. Never take your eyes off the ball.
Mm-hmm.
And I took my eye off the ball considering there was another factor. Um and as honorable as I am when it comes to Deep South, I have to do this for myself for once. And it's been a different Skrilla the Great this time around. I'm usually like, hey, Deep South this, Deep South that, but this time it's personal.
Mm-hmm.
So it's definitely a real deal this time around, and I really hope that Zilla isn't looking past me because I I'm really gonna bring it to the table, and I'm just hoping he's ready to digest everything that I bring to the table.
Well, no, I hear you. Yeah, I'd forgotten about the square off there with the three of you guys. But real quick
Yeah,
shout out to Deep South. Yeah, for this, I would just say that they are the venue and the vehicle where this war is going to happen. They are helping facilitate it because it did need a proper location. And Deep South says,
yeah,
we got you both covered. Come to our house and we got you. So shout out to them. We both have mutual friends with them. So shout out to them for being the vehicle and the venue as far as that. But you and Zilla are now crossing
and
paths.
I want to say,
Yeah.
I was gonna say, I kudos to him for playing his mind games because
Mm-hmm.
obviously it's a personal thing between me and him, but I definitely salute him, and he's definitely learned a lot from his bloodline. He knows how to get under your skin, and he definitely did his job. So I'm definitely giving him props, and I still respect him through everything. But I mean, when comes Sunday, he's going to have to understand why I am 2023's Wrestler of the Year in Georgia, why I'm the king of controversy, why I've been the two-time Deep South champion and held 6 different titles in one year.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the cover of Sports Illustrated, online, like I've done it all,
Yeah.
and he's gonna understand that. He's going to realize that I'm just not a flash in the pan. I'm just that diamond in the rough that never got the opportunity to shine, and he's gonna see that Sunday.
That he definitely will. And what I was going to say was, you cross paths with Zilla now. You recently crossed paths a couple times with another second generation guy, which I guess he's third generation, third or fourth. He might be fifth with Zilla. But you and Colby Corino have went at it a few
Yeah,
times, and that guy's pretty good as well. And you seem to have gotten the better hand of those, including a very impressive Poison Rana, by the way, that I did not know was in your did not know that was in the bag of tricks there.
absolutely. I don't know. I really don't understand where this Colby Corino thing came from. Uh, I really don't. Maybe it was when we crossed paths in NWA when I was there for a couple of days, and just I mean, it's kind of the same situation, honestly. Like I went that well at this time, NWA came to Atlanta, and I came down there. We met, respect, and stuff like that. And I don't know. I think the way these guys are playing it as we know who you are, but we're gonna act like we don't know who you are to get under your skin to see how you can handle it. And I mean, it got personal with me and Kobe because I was 1 second away from being IWE's champion,
Hmm.
and he made it about him and said that since he didn't win it the previous time, nobody else will. So that's when it got personal between me and him. He used the referee in our first match. So I was like, okay, now I have to, again, I took my eye off the ball, you know. And, you know, now moving forward, I just have to be more focused. And that's where I am now. It was a lot of uncertain things that was going on in my life. And I was just moving too fast away. I wasn't paying attention what was in front of me. So now I see everything that's coming at me. Like I put my back against the wall, and now I just know what's going on, and I'm just prepared for a lot of it. You know.
Yeah, and we would be remiss if we did not mention the third part of this trio that has come looking for you, and another second generation guy. I don't know what it is with these lack of a better term bloodlines that
Yeah.
they like to try to find the king and come after him, and that's
Yeah.
one Lexis King who came into New Realm a couple months back and had to revert to some underhanded tactics that we thought he was trying to get away from, but he had to pull out some illegal tricks to beat you. That means you had him in a place he did not want to be. So he found his
Mm-hmm.
way out. Unfortunately, probably the way his dad taught him.
Mm-hmm. Very smart on his hand. And once
Sure.
again, um, I took my eye off the ball once again. You know, situation happened, and no shade to Cedric, aka Little Skrill. He was definitely trying to make sure that everything went the way it was supposed to, because you know, I mean, Lexus has that bag of tricks that his dad taught him, and I think Cedric kind of got that sense that that's what he was going for. So he was trying to help me, and you know, things happen, and I wouldn't be a man if I made excuses, you know. So I mean, I lost,
Sure.
but it's not over, you know. It's far from over, and it's far from over because these guys are coming to me, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's the funny part is everybody's looking at it like, oh, they're bringing these guys in. No, they're coming to me, um, and it's a big deal now, you know. And I dare say I was, whether it was a big or small piece, I dare say I was a big part of this WWE ID revolution, you know,
Mm-hmm.
considering they were testing it out with, you know, in our area, they were testing it out with me and a couple
Mm-hmm.
other guys. But
Yep.
it's minus everything that I'm dealing with those guys, I'm having the time of my life. Um, and I'm also realizing my worth through all of this, because I had some uncertainty about that too. Like, am I really supposed to be in this business? Um, 10 years. Like, what am I going to do after this? Am I going to the next level? Should I take a break? I was on the verge of doing that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
so all this came, you know, so fast. It came so fast, and I'm just, you know, I'm trying to soak it in on top of staying focused and continuing to move forward with it all. But they all know, Lexus knows this isn't over. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Me and Colby are split down the middle right now, so who knows what's gonna happen with that. And I'm ready to lock horns with Zilla Fatu.
Yeah, and I told you just in a regular chat that we had going. This was on no official recording or anything, but I said it on an AEW podcast that we do that myself and Clay Harden do here on this network. That I actually said that this wrestler reminds me of you, but you guys are kind of mutual back and forth. And I said that, especially when you said a while ago about, a lot of people would say that, how are you in this situation? Because you're not the typical stereotypical wrestler that everybody says. You're not the cookie cutter that was so popular a couple years ago. And I've always thought the same thing that you're your own complete mold, and you remind me a lot of Swerve Strickland, who also has the music background. People that don't know, this is your second career. Your first career was music that is just ridiculously good. But
I
you look at
appreciate
Swerve Strickland, you look at Skrilla the Great, And 10 years ago, yeah, you're right. If you were in the position you are now 10 years ago, this is the ceiling. But now this is the floor because of the pioneer work that you guys are putting in, going, you don't have to be the cookie cutter that everybody else was. You can be you and turn it up to 11 and make your own path.
Absolutely. And I really appreciate that compliment. Um, I mean, obviously me, I'm my worst critic. So I'm like, those are some big shoes to fill for you to say
Yeah.
that. But I appreciate that. And I can see where those parallels are there. And I feel like at the end of the day, hard work always defeats talent. At the end of the day, to me, I feel like if you work hard, there's a certain addiction, there's a certain obsession that really pushes you over any edge or bridge or limit in any of it. Like I think you can just get past anything, even when you get dropped back down. You still pick if you keep working and build yourself back up. They're gonna be like, holy shit, like he just won't stay down now, will he? And I always I always think about one of my favorite movies, which is Rocky 3, and I always think about when Rocky was just getting drilled by Clubber Lang, and he's just like, it ain't so bad because it ain't so bad. I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna keep fighting. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where Swerve was when with his transition and moving forward to where he is now. And I'm on the same path. So yeah, I really do appreciate that compliment, bro.
Yeah, and the last tie-in between you guys is he was one of the most dominant heels in AEW at the time,
Mhm.
and you had the dominant uh, heel run in Deep South going. Almost, it
Yeah,
was almost simultaneous, which is crazy because it was not planned at
absolutely.
all, and I can 1,000%
Not at all.
guarantee that it was not. It just happened to be at the same time, like dueling roller coasters, and the
Absolutely.
crowd kept recognizing that we don't want to keep booing these guys. We love these guys. These guys are the best we see out here. And because the crowd was turning, it forced Deep South and the rest of the South, and it forced AEW to allow you guys to actually take over the fan favorite, roles because the
Yeah.
fans were like, "Nah, I refuse to boo this guy. He's the best guy here."
And it's funny because now I have my Nana now. I have Lil Skrill. I
Mm-hmm.
have Cedric. So I mean it's a lot of
Oh wow, I didn't think about that. Yeah.
it's a lot of similarity. So I agree. That's really cool that you put it in that aspect. Like that's really cool. I didn't realize how neck and neck it was, but that's it's really cool. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and like I said, hard work pays off. And sometimes we've had this conversation. Sometimes when you're looking in the mirror, you know, you're trying to figure out who you are. And to certain people, because they don't understand why you're doing what you're doing, you look like the villain. But
Mm-hmm.
once they catch on, eventually, once the story starts telling itself and they start seeing little pieces every now and then, they're like, wait a minute, I was wrong. He's doing this for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where it got with Swerve as well. So it's like sometimes people get discouraged because the fans don't understand, but you gotta do it for you first, and then
Mm-hmm.
they'll catch on. So I think once they made me the villain, I kind of just like indulged in it, and
Mm-hmm.
but it's kind of like the Roman Reigns thing is like they were saying like the title had kind of put the curse over him, and uh when Jacob finally beat me at the cage matchup, like it was like a breath of fresh air. And
What's one of the first things you said to me after the show? Is I said, "How do you feel?" And you said, "Actually, I feel good. Like I can take a breath for a second."
well, I mean, I spent 2 years trying to not only prove to Deep South in Georgia and whatever pieces of the world that were watching then not only to them but to myself, that I was the guy and I was always ignored and not heard. Like, so it was just like it was so much pressure. I was putting so much pressure on myself, and I felt like the world was also putting the pressure on me, and I had to just find out how to get to that wall to put my back against it. Like I had to fight to get to that wall to put my back and turn around and be like, "Hey, now what's up? Everybody come to me. Let's fight." So it was a fight to even get to the wall because once you get to that wall, then they know you can see everything.
Right.
Um, and they didn't want me to get to that wall because I'm undeniable now. And they knew once I got to that part, it was on and popping, and now I'm here. So it was 2 years of straight battling. Like I'm grateful that I made it out alive, and a lot of people think that this is very scripted, but it's so real, and I'm
Hmm.
just grateful, and I'm excited for what's next.
Absolutely. I think you're not the only one that is. And as we're finishing up the last handful of minutes here with Skrilla the Great, um, let's get back to this show. What can people expect this? I know you got a show in between that. I found out about that one the other day. But what can people expect this Sunday at New Realm, 4 p.m., you and Zilla squaring off?
It's gonna be a straight up fight. I'm gonna tell you that right now. Um, I don't expect him to hold back, and I hope he doesn't expect me to hold back. He's been quiet this whole time, so I know he has something up his sleeve. You know, um, I'm very vocal when it comes to stuff like this, but I can back up my talk. However, I am watching his approach because it's not about the roar in the line; it's about when the line is silent. So
Hmm.
I'm very aware of what I'm dealing with. I'm aware of their bloodline. I mean, I've been studying them for years before I was even wrestling. I was mimicking The Rock in the in the shower, like just saying everything, looking in the mirror with the title. This is what dreams are made of, and
Hmm.
I dare say this is like the all or nothing kind of deal right here. And I got to bring it to the table. I know the world's gonna be watching. I know Booker T's gonna be watching. Everybody's gonna be watching. So we're definitely gonna give them a show. It's gonna be a fight for sure. It's definitely gonna be a fight. And don't you think that I don't have any tricks up my sleeve too? I always got something on my sleeve. Always.
Yep. I mean, you have to. You have to in this world in general, but you have to in the wrestling business because you never know what kind of curve it's going to throw at you.
But let me say this, because the bloodline is the biggest, well known family right now, but
Sure.
there's one smart guy in this world that said wrestling has more than one royal family, and sir, mine's coming up. Trust that.
Whoa, whoa. What are we saying there with that? No.
Let's
There
just
is.
say let's just say there is a legend killer, and then there's a legacy ender, and his name is Skrilla the Great.
Exactly. Exactly. Uh, this one's called The World Is Yours, and I would say that right now the world is yours. To quote Shakespeare, which I randomly like to do for some reason, the world is your oyster, Skrilla, and I hope you get all the pearls you're after here. Look forward to this match. I will be down center. Team Impact will be rolling as deep as possible. Never know who we're bringing to shows because sometimes I never know who we're bringing to shows until the day of.
And you never
But
know who's gonna pop up.
nope, you never do. We
I
we
had no
all
idea
know.
what was going on. Next thing you know, Scott Hudson's calling me to the ring to talk about this. Like, so you just
Yep,
never know. So you never know.
absolutely. But got the big matchup this weekend. Like I said, New Realm that Sunday the 15th. They're right there on the belt line. If you're in the Atlanta area, stop by and see this. Bell time at 4. I don't think it's going to be that cold. Actually, I think it's going to be pretty nice for for one. It's been pretty hot the entire
Upper
summer there,
50,
so it's
60.
nice that it's going to chill off.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
the
It's gonna
world
be
is yours.
it's
New
gonna be
realm.
so look, it's gonna be so hot in that ring. They're gonna feel the heat from that ring. They'll be just fine.
Oh yeah. To quote another famous wrestling family, there, can you feel the heat?
There you go. There
I
you
got to
go.
shout that one out. Got to shout that one out. But without being biased, I think Zilla's going to have more than a Thanksgiving plate full of Skrilla the Great to deal with. He is going to have to keep in mind too, like you said, that this is your backyard, not his. He will be outside his Houston bubble. So
Right.
regardless of how many family members he may have,
You know
you
the
got a
crazy
lot of
part
friends and
is
family
though.
too.
Uh, you know the crazy part is I still feel like I'm the underdog in this situation, which is crazy considering that I'll have home field advantage. But I do feel like this will be like a Super Bowl like atmosphere where it's gonna be intense. It's gonna be both sides there.
Hmm.
Some people will be there for them. Some people will be there for me. So this one's big. This one's really big.
Absolutely. Well, we have reached the end of our small chat for tonight. Skrilla, I appreciate you jumping on with us there and keep being a role model like that guy in the frame jersey behind you says that he's not,
That's right.
even though he knows he's incorrect. But
Terrible.
we will
Just
see you
terrible.
Sunday, and thanks for joining us, and best
Thanks for having
wishes
me.
on a
Thanks for
great
having
Sunday.
me. Yes, sir. Buckle up.